Hey guys, hope everyone's doing good. It's been a while since my last streaming. Give me a sec while I'll set this. Give me a second. So how's everyone doing? Let me get the music a bit lower. So it's been a while since my last streaming, so I'm trying just to set everything up. Might be a very slow beginning of the sculpture, but I'm trying to get everything running, checking the chat and pretty much checking that everything's running smoothly. So I might get a bit slow on the beginning, but hopefully it's gonna be a fun streaming. I had this idea for a while. I was planning on doing this on my personal Twitch channel. However, for some reasons I wasn't able to do it on time, so that's why I'm currently thinking on doing a Labubu, but a creepy version of it. So pretty much start. Um, for the base mesh, it's gonna be like a pretty straightforward couple of spheres, and that's gonna be pretty much it. Don't require that much geometry, especially for like getting the shape done. I do have a reference, like as different colors and some of the reference that I think might fit for the creepy version of it. So I'm thinking a mix between bunny and monkey. I was aiming for this wrinkly face of a chimpanzee, something like that. A bit creepy. Hey Violet, how are you doing? So first, I'm gonna try to match the original design of the Labubu, and then once I have the design done, and once it's looking like a Labubu, then I'll start like creating the creepy stuff and making it more of a creature instead of like an art toy. So it's gonna be pretty much just spheres right now. So as I said at the beginning, it's gonna be a slow beginning with my streaming. It's been a while, so I'm just checking that everything's running smoothly and pretty much just playing with spheres right now at the beginning. I'll try to have something a bit more interesting as fast as possible, but I'm seeing something like this, and for the ears it's gonna be pretty much the same as spheres. I currently have my view ref with the front view and the side view of the art toy. So right now I'm not really thinking on matching the perspective or the proportions of the art toy. It's pretty much just like eyeballing some of the proportions, and then I'm gonna match with the view ref. Hey Sam Kid, how are you doing? Hey Maverick, how are you doing? So I have to take this one a bit further, and since I already have like the base, this is pretty fast. I'm gonna have my reference on top with my pure ref with a bit of transparency, and now I'm gonna change the proportions so they actually fit with the Labubu. So I'm gonna use as reference maybe the body, the torso. It's gonna be something like this. I'm gonna lock the camera because I don't want to have like a rotating camera or something like that when I'm trying to match the reference of the Labubu. Hey, Imo, something like that. Pretty much I suck at reading names. Imo or Imu 161. And watching you and working in a field unrelated to mine. What field is that? Is it a fun field? So pretty much the head is way too small, so I need to fix that. And I have in mind that pretty much a lot of the fluffiness of the original design is pretty much the fur, so I'm not gonna sculpt the fur. That's gonna be like haircuts or some sort of um, CFX. But I'm trying to get it as close as possible right now, and then I'll just remove some of that fluffiness. So the head is on point. Now change the proportion of the arms. Change the... There we go. So I have a polygroup for the arms, polygroup for the legs, and one for the head, the torso, and the ears. So around here it's good enough. And then they have like these very small hands, which I'll sculpt later on. But right now I'm just trying to get like the main shapes done, the proportions. Yes, emo. Oh, perfect. How are you doing? So, for example, right here on the groin area, I see that at least on the reference they have like a ton of fur. So I'm gonna leave that section maybe not that small, but around here. And since I'm working with the reference, I'll think I'll just add the eyes, the nose, stuff like that. So I'm gonna have a different geo, maybe just to mark where the face is. It's around here. Actually, I can use this for the eyes instead. Select the wireframe because it's easier for me to see the shapes when I have the reference on top. Since the wireframe has colors, it's easier for me to just like use that to separate the reference from the mesh. So around that should be the position of the eyes, and this should be around the position of the nose. And now I'm gonna draw like a very rough looking mouth just to get the feeling of where it's supposed to be. It's around here. It's gonna be fun. Okay, so I have pretty much the reference on top. Now I'll just move this aside. This looks horrible, but bear with me. I'm gonna work so it looks more decent. Now for starters, I need to position this closer to the face. Now it sucks because I pretty much just use the front view to match the proportions. So it's not gonna be like super nice looking from the side. I didn't solve this issue. There we go. Think as far as proportions, we're done. So I'm gonna start splitting these into different subtools. So we have the eyes as a different subtool, also the nose. I think I'm gonna have a different subtool just for the head, and I'm just gonna keep it like that because I want to work first on the head. Once I have the face done, then I'll start jumping on like doing different versions of like the arms and the belly. So first I want to have like this a bit more decent looking. So again, I'm not trying to do like one-on-one copy of the art toy. The idea is to have like a more realistic, creepy looking, maybe not creepy, but like a creature, like a real life creature. Let me see, maybe the face is way too flat, so I'm gonna have to do something like this. So this is pretty much the eye sockets. And I'm pretty much working with a very low poly mesh. So I really want to work with the proportions and the shape of it. I'm not really looking forward to sculpt the details yet. I'm just trying to get like the proportions done and the main volumes. I don't need that much resolution for that. So for example, right here. And as I said, pretty much my references right now are a lot of monkeys and rabbits without fur. So they have like this very weird looking gap inside the eyes. I'm sorry, not inside the eyes, inside of the ears. Yeah, around the ears there's like a brownish hole. So that's gonna be interesting. I'm just trying to figure out how to work on the face and the ears like that. So I'm gonna make these ones a bit more thin. And I think that with what I have, I can do a quick remesh by Dynamesh. Just to get something a bit more decent looking, because currently it's looking like very ugly. So, oops. Now I need more space between those. No, there we go. This is perfect. So with this, now I can start sculpting a bit more the shapes. So. So again, this is pretty much like as far as I see it, like a mix between a monkey and a rabbit. So my volume, let me see. Might actually fix with something like this. Yeah. So since it's been a while since my last streaming, I'm just trying to get like everything set up again. So if I'm actually very low with the volume, do let me know, please. So I think this might be better. Hopefully it's not that annoying with the music. Much better. Oh, thanks, Imo. So I'm pretty much just gonna be like working with references of monkeys for the face. I think I'm gonna add a bit more resolution just to play with the face, especially because I already have like the main shapes done, so I don't need to like invest that much time on working with the volumes. They're pretty much just spheres for this one. So I'm gonna actually do something like this where I need to add some sort of eyelids. I do believe that there are not like shapes like these for the eyes in nature, so but I'm gonna improvise. I wanna keep these very weird looking eyes. That's pretty much part of like the unique look of the art toy, so I'm gonna keep that, even though it's not really that realistic. As far as the nose goes, I can actually move maybe from the side view. It's looking very rough, but example, I can actually push a bit further the nose. This one also goes to the front. Still need to invest more time on the nose, but that's pretty much the idea. So I'm just gonna make like this line a bit more strong. just adding volumes with clay buildup. For example, the eyes, I can make the eyes, even though I want to keep the same shape. Here we can push them inside of it. Do the same for these. So let me check some of my references. It's pretty annoying that whenever I'm looking for references, a ton of them are now AI images, so it's pretty hard sometimes to tell if it's a real photo or if it's actually like an AI image. Like, for example, I'm currently looking at chimpanzee images, and I mean there's some cool pictures, but they look way too perfect to be like photos, so I have to be like super careful with the reference that I have. And it's a bit annoying. I'm pretty sure there should be like an add-on or like a plugin for the browser to filter some of these images, but at the end one has to be very careful with the references that we're currently using, especially if for creatures. Like if we're doing something based on nature, we don't want to get like tainted with AI images. So let me maybe set this a bit to the right. Okay. So I want to have like these wrinkles in this direction, like these snow monkeys. As far as the eyes go, I'm not really digging the design that I have for the eyes right now, but at the same time I'm trying to keep the original shape of the eyes, so I don't want to change that much that. And something that I've seen that is quite helpful, especially for creatures and characters, is getting like some sort of like shader for the eyes, like some art toy plastic, I think it's called, the material. So it's very basic. For example, should be around here. There we go. So for example, this one with the black color, I think it's gonna be, at least for now, nicer to look at. So I add a couple of subdivision levels, mRGB, fill object, and then I'm going back to my gray material. So this helps because the eyes are not so distracting right now compared to without having like the eye shader. Now with this, I think I can actually play with the shapes a bit. So I want to keep this oval shape. However, I might be able to play with it a bit and make it less oval, slightly more correct to like a monkey eye. But right around here I might have like the caruncle. And I'm like trying to match the eyes with the, sorry, the eyelids with the eyes. They have to go around these oval shapes, so almost hugging the shape. I do believe I can actually add a couple of like eye bags around here. Now the space between the eyes and the mouth, it's pretty narrow, so I have to play with whatever I'm gonna have here, but I'm being careful of not playing that much and modifying the shape. So maybe just a couple of lines might be enough to get the feeling of like an eye bag. And I'm not a big fan of adding details that early in the sculpt, but I think this might help just to get the idea of like having the whiskers on the front of the face. And I need to have like this tension that's creating, having this very big smile. Maybe whenever he smiles, he gets like these very big folds around here of meat and fat. Makes sense, because at the end he's like pulling all this meat towards the forehead, and he's getting like all these wrinkles, like very big wrinkles around this area. And I don't actually need to sculpt like every single detail around this part of the head, because that's gonna be covered by fur, so there is no point on having that much detail on parts that are not gonna be visible. For example, this, I can make the eyebrows a bit stronger. Just like this. And it's already looking like a Labubu, but a weird version of it, so I think I'm going in on the right direction with this. Now, once I have finished like setting the main shapes of the face and head, I'll jump to the ears, because that's another part that's gonna be tricky, while keeping the original design and doing something a bit more natural looking. So it's a bit of a challenge just to getting this into the, okay, nature-ish field. I'll think that lower lip's gonna be like way thicker than the non-existent upper lip. Like this. Do Labubus have eyelids? Looks like they don't. Well, let me try something for this. I have an idea, which is painting some eyes. Not sure. I mean, it's looking quite creepy with those eyes. Let's see if I can make these a bit more rounded. I think this feels a bit more monkish which is good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep this one. It's almost like a lemur, right? Or something like that. And before I continue, I'm gonna save this because I know sometimes ZBrush likes to crash from time to time, so I don't want to play any bets. And just to be safe, I'm gonna save this. So I don't remember what streaming is this supposed to be like. Give me a sec, let me check. So let me see. My last streaming last year was streaming number... I don't have a number name. The number for that one. So last one was 141. So this is supposed to be, unless I'm wrong, 142. So let me save this as streaming 142. Unless I'm wrong, but I'm almost certain that's the correct number. Give me a second to save this. It's not a Cheburashka. It's a Cheburashka. Ah, nice. You know what? Maybe on my next streaming I can do like a creepy, realistic version of the Cheburashka. I remember seeing some toys of this, like what's supposed to be like a monkey or like a mice, something like that. It's pretty cute. But yeah, I think I'll do maybe on my next streaming one of these. It's pretty fun. It's for this one, it's a creepy version of Labubu. So I'm trying to keep like same proportions at least, but giving it like some more grounded textures. Like I'm pretty much using as inspiration monkeys and rabbits, which is pretty straightforward. I mean, whenever you see a Labubu, you can see like it's either a monkey or a rabbit. So this is pretty much what I'm doing, just giving the nature treatment to the Labubu. Hey, Im. Hello from Brazil. Hey, Yaris, Maru. Human teeth on it. It's not a bad idea, actually. Midnight Monster works. Those eyes. I know, right? I mean, without the color on the eyes, I mean, it still looks creepy, but not creepy enough. So, for example, if I do something like this, it looks more like a creature, like something out of a horror movie, maybe even a bit more alien. But with this, I feel like it looks more like a monkey or like a lemur. Bad Bunny. Close enough. Spear chuck. It's a rabbit thing. So that's like an official take, like supposed to be a rabbit, or I mean, it does look like a rabbit, but could be like a mix, or like this character from Sanrio, Hello Kitty, that's not supposed to be a cat. Pretty much could be like something like that, like one take where it's supposed to be like a weird looking creature that looks like a rabbit and a monkey, but it's not supposed to be either one of those. So as far as the ear goes, the toy has a very big gap inside the ear, but I'm not really looking for those as reference, more like rabbit ears. So let me see some references of rabbits. Just trying to find some references of like rabbit ears without fur. Okay, yeah, found one. She's also creepy looking. But I think as the ears, I can maybe break a bit the design and go for... I mean, I'm not gonna change that much the silhouette, but maybe the design inside of the ear, I can change that a bit. Just enough that it looks a bit more natural. Put Lori's eyes on it. I'm not familiar with that. Oh, yeah, yeah. That's a great creature. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna add those set of eyes to the creature. That's perfect. Thank you, Maru. Yeah, fits with the creature. So I'm gonna change the ears. As far as the ear, maybe I won't change this distance that much, but I'll change the thickness, because right now it looks like 2 lumps of meat. So I'm gonna do something like this. What I'm thinking is maybe I can keep this shape, however maybe he has like a very big fold inside here, so it's at the end a very similar shape, but something like this. Let me change backface masking and do something like this. Aye. Let me see those creatures, what they look like. Hey Jorge, how are you doing? Oh yeah, that's perfect. Although I think that this one has like very long hands. And I'm looking for very short looking hands like the original toy. But I can do like a mixture, like a mix between those two. Let me move this to the other screen, and so the idea is to do. I know I've said this several times during the years, but I'm trying to get a bit more consistent with the streamings. Something around here. So what I'm looking at is having like a lot of subsurface scattering in this section, since it's more like a fold of skin instead of having like these very big looking ears. something around this. And for the eyes, I'm still not a big fan of this shape, so I'm gonna maybe work like this. And maybe this section is gonna be a bit more smooth, just to have some space between the eyes and the nose. And maybe I can go a bit less intense with the lips. Something like this. So I'm still not a big fan of the ears. The thing is, I don't want to change that much the silhouette, but might need to try doing something different with the ears, because currently, I mean, they work, but still not entirely convinced with these ones. I'm just playing with the wrinkles, just to have a bit more information on what's going on with the face. So, as I said, I have these very big lumps of meat right here. And the idea is whenever he smiles, he gets like very big wrinkles around this area of the head. And just to have some information on the back, even though I'm not gonna have like that much things on the back, because it's gonna be covered by fur, I'm just gonna add some texture to it, so it doesn't look super boring. Same goes for the back part of the ear, so maybe something like this, where I get like these wrinkles on the base of the ear. To make some sort of hole right in the base of the ear, so it makes sense having these ears. Doesn't have to be very deep, but deep enough so I can get some shadows on it. Yeah, something like this. Yeah, the ear is the only thing that I'm not really digging that much. So before going further, I'm thinking on maybe working on now the belly. Oops. They have like this very weird looking eyebrow. So I'm trying to mimic that. And let me see if I change the material. That sometimes helps to get like some different lighting scenario on top of it, so it's easier to see some of the shapes. So I see that I still need to work a ton of this. So let me see. As far as the body goes, I'm not sure if I'll go with a hairless looking rabbit or a hairless looking monkey. So you know, I think I'm gonna create a different layer for this, and yeah, I'm gonna change the ears. I don't care. It looks very weird to have these shapes, so I'll save these, and on my second version I'll change the ears. So hey, Bishop. Thank you. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a realistic take on Labubu, but currently I'm gonna change the ears. I'm not really digging what I'm working, what I currently have. I mean, it's close to the design of the art toy, but I'm gonna change these to have more ear-looking ears. Ear-looking, rabbit-looking ears. So maybe I'll keep the round shape, but the interior is gonna be completely different. So something more like this. And this side's gonna be completely different. Yeah, this is starting to look more realistic. So as far as the ears go, I think this one helps a lot. So I'm gonna change some of the shapes here. Hey, thanks, Jetties. No, to be honest, I do use a ton of reference. Like, that's something that one never stops using reference. Like, I wish I have like a super big mental library of creatures and animals, but to be honest, it's easier just to get on the internet and getting some references of creatures and animals and the work of different artists. So it doesn't matter if you're doing like for example this one, a very non-existent creature like a dragon or something like that. Either way, you always need to have a ton of reference. It doesn't matter if you've done, I don't know, maybe ears a ton of times, like hundreds of times. Having references, it doesn't hurt, and it makes your work easier, and I do believe it makes everything a bit more interesting. Spear Choco. Good night from Orlando. Can't wait for the fiber mesh on Bad Bunny. Not sure if I mean, maybe for like a concept, I might use fiber mesh. However, for this one, I think it's gonna be easier for me just to have like some hair cards, and then either using nano mesh or some sort of like or Natrix, some different plugin just to get like the cards on top of the creature and changing the texture of it. The reason is because I'm gonna use this creature for a real-time environment. So even though fiber mesh might work for some renders, especially in maybe Keyshot or something like that, at the end I want to import this into Unreal. So I'm thinking that for the fur, I'm gonna create a mask using polypaint. I might actually like create a mask around this area. I mean, around this. The ears, of course, like interior of it. I mean, something like this. So I'm gonna export this as a black and white map, and then use either, as I said, the hair cards, or I'm not sure if I wanna try XGen again. I've done several projects with XGen, so I'm gonna try. I want to try something different, but XGen is also on the table. I mean, it's fun, but I really want to try something different. So that's why I'm not using either XGen or Fiber Mesh, because I've already done some stuff with that, and the idea is to have something different for the Labubu. $24 karat Labubu. I might actually might be able to print it later once I'm finished with the details and all the sculpting. For example, these ones, I'm just getting some of the wrinkles a bit more defined. And I think that this might be a better set of ears compared to the previous one. I still have like the rounded shape of the original toy. However, once I have like some details on it, I think it's looking quite different compared to the original ears, which is good. That's what I'm aiming for. Hey, Toy Maker, thank you. So, I do have now head. I'm gonna change this a bit just to have some nostrils around here. This is by far not the final nose, but I think this one right now works. So. I can later maybe create a different blend shape where I get like these eyebrows, something like this. Actually, I'm gonna play with this when I create a different layer, just for fun. Having blend shapes with wrinkles is pretty fun because you can get like these very soft looking transitions. So for example, I want to move these down here. So I'm just gonna do a quick test. And I'm gonna change just a bit of the volume so I get some movement here. I mean, this is just pretty much for fun, just to see how it looks. There's no real use for this right now. But it looks fun. Hey Kiki, thank you. So currently I have the face, the part of the head, the ears. So I don't want to leave the model just with a rough looking head and pretty much just spheres for the rest of the body. So I'm gonna separate the torso. Split these to different subtools. And the idea is to keep the design. So this is all I have to work on the torso. This is all the proportions I have. So, pistón. ¿Qué onda, sopa de pulpo? Estoy usando para la música, ¿cómo se llama esta aplicación? Pretzel Rocks. A ver cómo se llama esta canción. Apotic Destiny, de Soul Extract. La verdad es que es un poquito un volado con estas canciones. A veces salen buenas y a veces salen como medio random. Pero esta salió buena. So I'm gonna change a bit the proportions. Not the scale. That's pretty much all I have to work with the Labubu. So this is gonna be the rib cage, the pectoral muscles. It's very rough looking, but it gives the idea of what I have in mind. So you can see this is pretty much the butt, and this is gonna be the torso. So I have a ton of skin right here. I think I'm going to create a ton of folds around this area, just to have this very weird, wrinkly looking creature. So these are the proportions. The legs. I think I'm gonna change a bit the legs. Again, I'm gonna split these into different subtools. And same goes for the arms. It's very rough looking, but at the end, as I said in the beginning, the creature gets a ton of fluffiness, but it's pretty much all this fluffiness is getting like. Let me see some of the references. All the fluffiness is because of all the fur that the creature has. So at the end, if you see like white monkeys or monkeys without fur, they're pretty lean. So I'm gonna apply the same concept for the creature, even though might look a bit weird, having like a very lean looking Labubu. I guess I'll go into a middle point between having a ton of fur and having a lean monkey. So it's gonna be like a bit chubby, but not entirely matching the silhouette of the art toy. El inglés no es mi primer idioma. Ah, tampoco es mi primer idioma el inglés. Sí, si tienes alguna pregunta, sin problema lo puedes poner en inglés. Digo en inglés. En español. Mis streamings suelen ser como medio combinado, entonces no hay ningún tema. So I'm getting these folds around here, so it's gonna be pretty much doing this. And aquí el problema es que se ve demasiado raro con las piernas, entonces I'm gonna start adding some more information here. So really want to have a big belly. This is gonna be a bit smaller also. Now I can't make the torso that small because, I mean, this guy has a very big head, which I need to scale down, but I still need to keep in mind that it's a very big, heavy skull, so que sea como Brian rasurado de padre de familia. Creo que no he visto esa versión. A ver. Oh, wow. That's pretty creepy. Sí está bueno para algún modelo en el futuro, esa versión de Brian. No la había visto. So I'm thinking, I want to keep the lean looking Labubu, but at the same time I feel it doesn't work that much with the idea of having like this realistic looking Labubu. So it's clashing those two ideas. So what I'm thinking is having maybe folds, like a ton of wrinkles and a ton of skin dangling, like almost like a flying squirrel. So that way I can get a bit more volume on the skin, but I can also keep it lean. Buenas noches, descansa Yaris. Gracias. So I'm gonna change this section just a bit. I'll go with something like this, and just looking for some references of hairless monkeys. looks super creepy, but I think that's pretty much the idea, so I think we are on the right track. Un saludo a la rosticería, a los auténticos pollos huérfanos de Emiliano Zapata Morelos. So I need to work on this part. So I have this, and now I can actually work on the arms. Now for this streaming, I won't finish the entire creature. This is just the first one. I think I'll just do 2 streamings, so next week I'll do another streaming of this creature, and in the next one I'll just continue working on it and finish whatever is pending. For example, hands, feet. I don't think they have tail, but I'll have to check my references. Now, I think it looks quite funny with those legs also, so I'm gonna change the legs too. These are pretty much proxy legs, so it's not gonna be the final shape of the legs and the arms, but just for now I think this one works. Now with these legs and these arms, the torso it's not making that much sense. I mean, from the front view it's making sense, however from the side view it's not that much. But at the same time, the head's so big that it actually needs torso like this. So this is one of those things that I still need to figure out how much I want to change. Yeah, I can change a bit to the side of the head from the side view. And I think I'm going to add a couple of proxy hands and legs and feet. So it's gonna be something like this. And same goes for the legs, feet. So I think this works for now. I mean, as a proxy, I think this one works. So I think I'm gonna leave my streaming around here. It's gonna be a couple of streamings to finish this one. So this is gonna be the first, and next Thursday is gonna be the second one. So see you next week, guys. As always, because I always say this, I'm gonna try to be more consistent on my streamings now. I'm gonna be back next Thursday. However, on Wednesday I'm gonna be doing a streaming on my personal Twitch channel, and yeah, I'm getting a bit of an allergy, so I'm gonna have to finish the streaming here. So I won't be able to do a rendering of this version of the Labubu, but it's gonna be back for my next streaming. Thanks to everyone who came by to the streaming. See you next week, guys. I'll just have maybe 2 more streamings or 1 more streaming to finish this one, and then I'll jump to the next creature. Well, I think the idea is it's been on my mind for a long time, so I wanted to do this one, and I believe this was the perfect opportunity to work on the Labubu during one of my streamings. So again, see you next week, and thanks to everyone who was in the chat. Nos vemos la próxima semana. Muchas gracias a todos los que estuvieron en el chat. Y voy a tratar de ser más consistente en los streamings. El año pasado solo hice uno en todo el año, entonces estuvo un poquito mal eso. Pero la idea es regresar a streamings este año. Entonces, al menos este mes ya están todos booked. Todos van a ser los jueves, más o menos 6 de la tarde hora de Los Ángeles, 8 de la noche hora de México. Y nos vemos la próxima semana para darle un segundo streaming al Labubu. Y justo, yo creo que será el siguiente streaming donde lo termine. Y ya saben que cualquier cosa, pues me pueden mandar mensaje por Instagram, Artstation. Mis redes están aquí arriba en el banner. Y nos vemos la próxima semana. If you guys want to get in touch or want to send a message, feel free to contact me via my Instagram, Artstation. That's where I'm more active. My social media is right around here on the banner on the top. So yeah, take care, guys. Cheers.